Hello my friends, and welcome to video number 4 of You Can Yoga 2's Yoga Fundamentals. So today we're going to go through just a couple standing poses to add to your repertoire that you've already been building in the previous poses. So we're going to start in our mountain pose. So this is a base for all the standing poses. You want to make sure that your feet are about hip width apart. And we're not talking about these like shake the hips. That's whole different videos, okay? In yoga, we're talking about our hip bones. So it's going to come down, and a good test is if you bring your fists together and your feet are about 2 fists apart. So that's approximately a good little check until you get more into your body and realize what goes where and what the knee bone's connected to and all that stuff. So once you have your feet placed, look down, check out your feet. Make sure that you're standing on your whole foot. So if you're like me and your feet go in, a little over pronation, you want to roll the weight to the outside, rock back and forth a little bit, standing on that whole foot. You want to draw that energy up as you stand, flex into the front of your legs here, your quadriceps. Gently pull the belly in, but remember, you never want to, so you can't breathe. Just a little gentle activation of the belly. Reaching up, shoulders come back and down, palms face forward. So when you're in your mountain pose, just think like the mountain. Think tall, strong, proud, just like a mountain in your mountain pose. So from this mountain pose, we're going to move into our first balance pose of our series. So let's do a little practice here first. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and you're going to shift the weight into the balls of your feet. That's the front of your foot. And then shift the weight into the heels. Still breathing. Don't forget, breathing's number 1. Shift the weight into the right foot. So now that left foot becomes very light. Nice. And then shift the weight to the left foot. And then blink your eyes open, and we're going to set up for our tree pose. So I'm going to bring my hands together at the heart. The weight is in that left leg. And then I'm just going to bring my right toes out and then drag them in. So in this placement, the heel is resting on the leg, just in case you don't want to take off today, okay? So you want to feel the foot press into the leg and the leg press into the foot. So there are a few options here as well. You can bring this foot anywhere up above or below the knee, focusing on your balance. You just don't want to push on the knee and push it out. Remember, knees go front and back. They don't go side to side. So you want the knee to only go this way. If it goes this way, it's not going to be happy. So a few variations here. We'll switch over to the right foot. So I'm going to shift my weight to the right. And I'm just going to bring my left foot up to the chair. And then you're going to scoot your right leg in. So from here, see how you're still in that same tree shape, but you have more support. So you're strengthening the standing leg. You're getting the external rotation in the hip. So you're still in a little tree pose. It's just you have a little bit more support, and you can learn that good alignment. We want to create good habits right from the beginning. It's much harder than getting used to doing something and then correcting it. So we want everything to be good right off the bat. So that's another option. You can use your chair. You can also use a block. Bring that right under where your foot would be. And then just put your toes right on that block. So again, looking at the shape of the pose, making the tree work for you. Okay? Always another option as well. You can use the wall behind you. Remember, there's no cheating in yoga. So you can use the wall, or you can grab onto your partner or your dog or your neighbor or whoever's around, whatever's around, grab onto that and help you with your balance. One more little key to our balance poses is something we call a drishti in yoga, or a focal point. And that'll really help you when you're in these balancing poses. So think of it as something you want to really stare at, something that's not moving. So like if we're doing a video together, you don't want to look at me because I'm always moving around. Something, it could be any little thing on your wall. But if you focus on that and focus on your breath, it'll help you create that stability. So let's do your version of tree. A little practice. So standing up nice and tall from our mountain, we're going to shift the weight into the left foot and then take your version of tree. And then you can add whatever arms that you want to help you balance. You can bring your hands to the heart. You can do your classic tightrope walker here. It's really hard to talk and balance at the same time. Not very good at it. You can lift the arms up toward the sky, be in a tree with some big branches, whatever you need to do. And then bring it down, back to your mountain, and we'll go to the other side. So you want to shift the weight into the right foot, find that focal point, and then take whichever version you want with this left leg. You can use a prop, you can keep your toes down, and breathing and focusing. And remember, if you fall out of it, don't get frustrated. That's the hardest part, okay? The patience with yourself. So just come back to your mountain, shift the weight, find the drishti, and try again. I fall every day still. It's part of the practice. That's why I always practice near a wall or have something to grab onto, because I'd rather grab the wall than fall on my face, right? Perfect. So that is your tree pose. Awesome. So moving on, we're going to come into one of my favorite poses, chair pose. So this is a pose that a lot of people don't care for. It's also called fierce pose because it's very challenging, but it's really good for you and it's going to give you very happy legs. So I'm going to turn to the side here. I'm in my mountain pose. And just like in our balance practice, I'm going to shift that weight into the heels. Yeah? So see how I can lift up my toes? So the weight's shifted back, and then we're going to bend into the knees. So for your chair pose, you don't have to come down that low, especially when you're a beginner, to feel this in the legs. So the key here is you're shifting the weight back into the heels and pushing the hips back. Okay? Traditionally, when we do a chair pose, the feet are flush together. I feel like that makes me a little unstable, and I feel like I don't have enough room to really work. But if that works for you, that's fine. Also, you bring the arms up by the ears. When I bring my arms up by the ears, as you can see, my back caves in, my low back here. So I'm going to pull my belly in so that my spine is still nice and straight. And I'm just going to reach my arms forward because I have very tight shoulders. So if I do this, does that look comfortable? Because trust me, it's not comfortable. So this is what I mean by making the poses for your body. So squeezing the legs toward each other, whether they're together or hip width apart, we shift the weight back, we reach the arms forward. So again, when you're starting, if you need a little more support, you can bring the hands right to the thighs. So you're still working into the legs, you still have that belly firm, shoulders are rolling back. So this is a great option for beginners. You can also back right up against the wall to do your chair and put your bum right up against the wall. And then you can get that feeling of really sitting without having to worry like you're going to fall backwards and bust your ass, right? We don't want that. Big deep breaths in as you sink. And you can also go as low as you need. So you want to go nice and low so that you feel it. But again, as a beginner, you can be up here, you can be down here. It's kind of choose your own adventure. But you will definitely feel this in your body. When you find it, you'll know. You're like, oh, there it is. There's my chair pose. There's my fierce pose. And then we'll just come up, straighten the legs. Bring the hands to heart center. Back into our mountain pose. So that's your next standing pose series. Today we did mountain, tree, and your chair pose. So play with those again. Figure out where you're going to start your tree, where you're going to plant your first tree, what your forest is going to look like in the future, what kind of chair pose feels best in your body, and feel free to take these tips or leave them. Take what you need, and I'll see you in the next video.